Hello everyone, it is I, Mr. Tag, and finally, I am presenting with you, to you, the Psychic OTK list. This is the definitive list where you will be able to Psychic OTK your opponents at least more than 50% of the time, which is what we want. Now, I would actually go so far as to say that there's been this discussion around, which deck would be best suited to going second in Edison, because there's almost no point going second. Your opponent gets to draw for turn. Why would you want to go second when you get to just draw for turn going first? This is probably the only deck where you can actually make the argument, well, if I go second, I could actually OTK my opponent. But again, I would still say even, you should always go first if you win the die roll. It's easy to get this set up and get one more extra draw to hopefully OTK turn 3 than it is to, OTK turn 2. Anyway, without further ado, let us get on with the discussion about my choices. I'll go through each card individually, and then, I'll let you guys make a decision as about what you might change. This is, of course, I said it's definitive. There are cards you need to play that are like non-negotiables. But other cards, maybe they're not to your preference. You can swap them out if you want. That's completely up to you. So first, we'll start from the top. We've got Destructotron. So this guy, you pay 1,000, you target a set spell or trap your opponent controls, and you destroy it. There's on once per turn, so you can do this multiple times if you need to. But like I mentioned in the combo video, if you're doing the full combo and you don't have a brain research lab up, you can only do this once anyway. But yeah, so if you you're going for the OTK, your opponent has a set back row and they haven't already chained it, you can summon this before you go into Magical Android, pop the back row, and then you should be able to OTK if you're scared of that back row. I think good card. I think playing it at 1 is fine. You don't need it in multiples. You could even side it if you want to. If maybe if your locals is full of like Light Sworn and Twilight, those decks don't really play much back row. Maybe side this out and maybe have it in the side instead. But otherwise, it's a good card, good card. 1 Dr. Cranium. This is a non-negotiable. We need it for the combo. But the amount you play is completely up to you. I think 1 is fine. And if you do happen to draw it, it can, if you set it, destroy a battle and send it to the graveyard, you can get yourself a Mind Master anyway. It's not awful. It's not actually a hard garnet if you draw it, because that just means, hey, that's 1 less Mind Master activation, even though you're paying 800 to search Mind Master, so then technically you're paying for it anyway. But hey, 1 is fine. You can play 2 if you want, or even 3 if you really want to search. But, that's completely up to you. All right. Here's one that's not very common in other lists I've seen, and that's Genetic Woman. So this card, once per turn, lets you pay 1,000 life points to basically target a banished psychic monster and add it to your hand. This essentially turns your gold sark into, you don't have to wait 2 turns for it. You get the card you want straight away. Obviously, it's not as impactful as, say, a DDR, but also we don't have to discard for it. And it's another level 4 you can summon if you got, you don't need the Destructotron, and maybe you drew a Psychic Snail, so you don't want to summon a Psychic Snail in the first part of the combo. You can summon this as well. I like to play it at 2. You could cut this to 1, play 3 Psychic Snail, play 2 Dr. Cranium, whatever you want. You don't even have to play it, but like I said, I like having my Gold Sark just turn into a free search if I do draw Genetic Woman and Gold Sark, but no way to combo. Yeah? Alright, next is Gauze. Hey, I know I said we're OTKing more than 50% of the time, but sometimes we're not. Sometimes we're not going to be able to do it, and that's just what happens. In which case, we have Gauze. Gauze is just a good card. I think, you should play it. Simple as. I don't think I need to explain why Gauze is good. Krebins. Now, I think other lists I see only play 1 Krebins. You only have to play 1. Like I said, for the package, you only need 1 Dr. Cranium, 1 Krebins, 1 Psychic Jumper, and of course Mind Master. And then any level 4. I like to play 2, because again, maybe, you're going first. Can't OTK going first. But you can summon Krebins. And that should hopefully protect you against anything your opponent might do. Hell, if your opponent is also playing Psychic OTK, this also stops the combo. They can't finish you off. because you just negate the attack. I'm just saying, Krebins is the ultimate defense against Psychic OTK. So I play 2. Because I think, you know, drawing it's not terrible. It's a good, like, summon turn 1. Mind Master. Do I have to explain why this is good? This is how we get the combo to work. If this was at 3, you would play 3. You know, if this was at 2, you'd play 2, etc., etc. Pay 100, shoot a Psychic, summon any level 4 Psychic from your deck. That's how we get a whole combo going. So yeah, you play Mind Master. 2 Mind Protector, again, you only need 1. But of course, I'm scared of drawing it. So I play 2. I also play 2 for a card called Overdrive Teleporter, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But also, you know, this is not a bad set going first. 2200 is really hard to get over. And, you know, maybe they've managed to summon 2 monsters, right? They swing into this. You get stopped, and they try and swing again. They can't swing again. Because monsters with 200 less attack cannot declare an attack. Except for Psychic-type monsters. So you can also just be stalling out your opponent with this if their deck's a little bit slow. I'm just saying, it's not a bad card overall. Next, we're going to talk about Morphing Jar. Alright, again, here's the thing with the Morphing Jar. You play it when you don't have combo, and you draw into combo, or you won't see it, and it doesn't matter. This just gets you closer to combo, and that's about it, really. You don't have to play Morphing Jar, but again, I think just to get close to that, you know, full potential, you play Morphing Jar. Alright, 2 Overdrive Teleporter. Why is this card good? It's a 1 card Hyper Psychic Blaster. Come on, summoning 2 monsters from the deck is insane, especially in Edison format. This card will be cracked in modern format, let alone Edison format. This is probably the 1 card where if I have Brain Research Lab up, I'm always putting a token on Brain Research Lab, because hey, that just means I only had to pay half the required life points essentially to play this thing. It's just really good. There are some really insane combos with this thing as well. I don't think you need to play 3. I just don't think you need to. You can, if you want. I think you need to play at least 1, if not 2. I think 2 is the sweet spot, personally. So yeah, definitely put this guy in your deck. Psychic Commander. Again, so this and Mind Protector pair with the Overdrive Teleporter, because as you can see, it specifically summons 2 level 3 Psychic-type monsters from your deck. They have to be level 3, so you obviously want a tuner and a non-tuner. So we have the Psychic Commander as our tuner, and Mind Protector is our non-tuner for this. And Commander, again, he's not terrible. Basically, he trades with anything with 1900 or more, 1900 or less attack. He'll either crash with 1900, or he gets over anything smaller than that. And also, it doesn't have to be he doesn't have to be involved in the battle. Just any Psychic-type monster. It's also something to keep in mind. Be a good card. I think, yeah, 2 again is a sweet number. You don't need 3, and 1 is just not enough. And then we play 1 Psychic Jumper. Now this one's correct. You don't have to play any Psychic Jumper. You can play 3 Krebins if you want to, or 2 Krebins and 2 Dr. Cranium, or whatever. But we play this because it's funny, and maybe if for some reason something's happened with your combo, you can't finish it. Maybe you've used both your Mind Protectors, or you've done something else during the game, and you just can't finish the combo. But you have access to this. Maybe your opponent's got a freaking Gautotron Dragon on the field. You've got Jumper, probably Mind Master. You go with Jumper, give them Mind Master, you get Gautotron Dragon, and then you smash into it. And you can always telekinetic power back your Mind Master later on. This is why you play Psychic Jumper, because it's funny and has useful applications. Also level 2 tuner, which we need for the full combo. Psychic Snail at 2. Again, Psychic Snail at 1 is non-negotiable, because you need this for the full combo. 3 might be too many, but if you're really scared of drawing it, you could play 3, but I think 2 is correct. And don't forget, I think this is one thing as well, if you've got a really insane board, but maybe you just need that final push, which you don't get with the OTK for some reason, Psychic Snail, it's not once per turn either. you could target every single monster on your field, make them all attack twice, and then you get rid of this thing because it can't attack. And also it's just 1900. So it's a good beater as well. So again, I think 2 is good. 1 is required. 3 if you're feeling, you just can't. You just don't want to draw 2. You just don't want to draw both of them and be like, no, I can't do the combo anymore. So there you go. Sangan. This can just search Mind Master. Or any of the smaller guys if you need them for whatever reason. That's why he's here. You're going to play Sangan, but again, we need ways to get to Mind Master. Should we not open a way to get to him turn 1 or turn 3? Brain control, steal your opponent's monster. I mean, it just helps with different lines, different OTKs. Brain Research Lab at 3. A lot of lists I've seen play this at 2 and 1 terraforming. No. 2 and 1 terraforming. Just play the 3. Unless you're playing some sort of field spell version of the deck with Gattletron Dragon, which could be interesting. Just either play the 3 or, play 3 in a terraforming. 2 in a terraforming is just silly. Silly nonsense. Anyway. So this essentially, even if you don't want to use the effect to put like counters on it to save your life points, you don't need to. That extra normal summon of Psychic Monster is crazy. That opens up an Overdrive Teleporter thing turn 1. This opens up, maybe you drew the Mind Master and another monster, and you like E-Telly or 1-for-1. You still combo. This card is crazy. You need to play 3. I think 2 is just silly. Playing 2 in a terraforming, or just playing 2. Just play the full 3 sweep. You'll be fine. Now with Research Lab, I think either you use it if, say, you don't have enough life points. But like I said with Overdrive Teleporter, that's like, I'll use that even if you can afford the life points. I'll use the Brain Research Lab instead. Because it pays for it. You're essentially only paying half what you need to. For your effect, like a Genetic Woman is 1,000. If you want to put the counter in Research Lab, you can. You just got to remember it's there, because don't forget, 8 counters on Brain Research Lab means you die to Mystical Space Typhoon, Heavy Storm, Giant Trunade, Dust Tornado. Any card which can remove this from the field. Bryonic. All these cards. So unless you're going for the OTK, or you need to use this to combo, just you don't, make sure you don't go over 8. Or just don't go over however many life points you've got left. You don't want to die to an MST when you're going for full combo. That'd be really silly. Emergency Teleport. Play this at 3 if we could. Okay, play 1. Oh, one thing about Brain Research Lab, it doesn't pay for Telekinetic Power Well. I think it says it on the card, you can pay for monster effects, but just in case that doesn't get through, you cannot pay for Telekinetic Power Well with Brain Research Lab. Alright, E-Telly. Gets level 3 or lower from deck. This gets you Mind Master. This gets you an extra body for Mind Master. This gets you whatever you need. Also play it at 3 if we could. This is non-negotiable. You play it. Trunade to push through OTKs. You can side this if you want, but I like maining it because, again, I just want to push through. I want to get that OTK as fast as possible. We want to win the game. Gold Sarks. I think this could be a little bit slow without Genetic Woman. So you're wanting 2 turns to get what you need. Depends what deck you're facing. Like, if they're playing normal frogs, Frog Monarch, you're not dying in 2 turns. So you can Gold Sark for what we need. You'll be fine. They're playing like Light Sworn, Fishborg Frog, Psychic OTK, Gig of Eyes, and you're Gold Sarking and waiting for Mind Master. You're probably going to die before you get to do the full combo, or you have not enough life points to do the full combo. But again, it's another way to get to Mind Master, another way to get to what you need. So I think you still need to play 2, but just be aware without Genetic Woman, I think it's a bit too slow in most cases. Heavy Storm, we're playing Trunade, we're going to play Storm. Get rid of all the spells and traps on the field, clear the way, win the game. That's simple. Mind Control, we play a lot of tuners, so why not steal their monster and let's make a synchro. Just don't forget, Mind Master can only tribute psychic monsters anyway, but say they have a Krebons and you have Mind Master, You cannot tribute it if you've taken it with mind control. That's just one thing to remember. I'm pretty sure you guys won't do that because your big brain, you're playing the OTK, your big brain. But just remember that. You can't do that. All right, MST, okay, got to clear the back row. I think we've established we need to clear the back row if they have back row. So you've got to play MST. 1 for 1, this gets to Mind Master again. Just got to find another way to get there. Because if you have this and a Psychic is full combo. So we just got to get there in time. Triple Telekinetic Powerball, this is non-negotiable, you got to play 3. Because, again, this is part of the full combo. Don't forget, full combo is Mind Master plus any Psychic plus a Telekinetic Powerball. 3-card combo, and this is the one that needs to be specific. Don't forget, Mind Master, you know, you could have E-Telly, you could be 1 for 1. You could maybe draw him and a Psychic in your hand in your Brain Research Lab. That gets you there as well. But Telekinetic Powerball, you need to have it. So you've got to play 3 of it. I play Terraforming for the Brain Research Lab. You can cut this if you want. But, you know, play the 3 Research Lab first. And then if you think you need more, play a Terraforming. Don't play 2 in a Terraforming. It's silly. You're being silly. And then traps. Not very many, as you can see. So we'll go through them. Call of the Haunted. Let's say you know, you drew both your snails. Oh no, what are you going to do? Well, if you get it in the graveyard and you have this, you can bring it back, then you got full combo again. Again, it's the same thing happens with Mind Master, maybe Mind Protector. This gets you back basically anything you want except Overdrive Teleporter. That card cannot be special summoned, so you can't get it back with this. If you could special summon that card, imagine that with Brain Research Lab. That would go crazy. But we can't do that, unfortunately. But I think Call the Haunted, I think is... You don't need to play it, but I think it's good to play. Mirror Force, it's one of the power trap cards. We play this because we need... Again, maybe we don't open OTK, maybe we don't get there for a couple of turns. Sometimes it happens. But we just got to play this, so you've got to get through... You know, occasionally it's going to happen. So you just got to get through those turns, and you'll be fine. And Torrential, same thing. Power trap. If we see this but not full combo, we set this, we let our opponents go crazy, we torrential them, and then we go in for the kill. It's good stuff. And double trap stun. Because again, trying to OTK, want to stop that back row. As you can see, we've got a lot of back row here. We have Destructotron, we have the Trunade, we have the Heavy, we have the MSTs, and we got double trap stun. So got to get there, got to get through that. We don't play discard traps because we can't really afford to discard cards. It's just that simple. Can't play Judgment because we can't afford to pay half our life points. We kind of need those to full combo with our Brain Research Lab. Dust Shoot. So what's the one card they hand that stops us? Battle Fader. What decks play Battle Fader? Frogs. Yeah. So if you are facing frogs, keep Battle Fader in mind. If you're not, what the hell are you scared of? Karibo? What decks are playing Karibo and Edison? Don't be scared. Just go for it, mate. Side deck, Battle Fader. So we don't get OTKed by Psychic OTK or Gig of Eyes or, you know, Welladad, all those kinds of decks. We are the Battle Fader. We can search with Sangan if we need to as well. Consecrated Light. How many darks do we have? Sangan, Gauze, a couple of Synchros. This will shut down Dark decks, and then we can OTK. Cyber Dragon. It's a free body. You don't need to play Cyber Dragon. I just like to play Cyber Dragon. I'm very much pro Cyber Dragon in the side, so we can Chimera Tech machine decks, just in case. Honest. Again, this is for Light Sworn matchups, or any matchup against other light decks where they think they're going to beat you because they have Honest and you don't. Because guess what's light? Hyper Psychic Blaster, Magical Android. A couple of other cards are light. Cyber Dragon's light. You can crash a Mind Protector with Honest. Overdrive Teleporter is light. It essentially lets us win any battle we need to and get over those stupid other decks that play Honest. We should play Honest. They should not play Honest. Honestly, that's the honest truth. Forbidden Chalice. Since we're not playing very many traps and we side Royal Decree, this is essentially our trap. Let's say you have Hyper Psychic Blaster on the field. You have with Armory Arm. You're facing Frogstone and they Battle Fader you. In that situation, you are probably going to get Caiused or Rised, or something to that effect. They summon Caius, they target you, flip Forbidden Chalice, they only go to 28, and my thing just crashed. Fantastic! There we go. Chalice, that's what we're talking about. Chalice. And they only go to 28. Hyper Psychic Blaster, even without Armory Arm, is 3k. So they can't even beat over it, even without Armory Arm. So then you're laughing. And it just stops other niche things. Maybe they're playing Psychic OTK, stop the Mind Master. Playing Gigavirus, but they only have Gigaplant. And they've normal summoned it again. Other cards. This has a lot of niche applications against Raikou in damage step. Again, maybe going for it. But they have Raikou. Normally you'd be dead. You'd fumble that, wouldn't you? No. It gets flipped up. Since you're still in your hand, you can Forbidden Chalice the Raikou. Can't pop you anymore. Snowman Eater, same thing. So again, this has lots of versatility. I think this should be more on side decks in general. It's a good card. Lightning Vortex gets rid of any big boards. You know, Dragons build a big board. Lots of other decks can build big boards. Zombies can build big boards. Just got to sometimes get through those big boards with the big field wipe. Nobleman of Crossout. This is again for flip decks like Raikou, or Lightsworn playing Raikous, or other decks playing Raikous like Fire Turbo. Just get rid of those nasty Raikous, and you've got nothing to worry about. And again, since we are playing Chalice, you could just swap this for a third Chalice or another card you like. You can also do that. I think that's the way to go. Prohibition. I've had so many funny interactions with this card. Essentially, I have called the scary card my opponent plays. Really good example was I was facing Gigavize. I called Lone Fire Blossom. Guess what they drew for turn next turn? So you can either call the scary cards you don't want to face. Well, essentially that's what you do here, because we're not protecting our back row. We don't need to from Heavy Storm or whatever. So you just call their big scary card, which get them out of a situation, and then you're fine. Only play it at 1 though, because again, this requires knowing your opponent's deck. Prohibition is really you need to know the format to play this card. 100%. It's not just knowing your opponent's deck, but what they could probably side into as well. So Prohibition, again, you can swap this for maybe double Vortex, maybe double Soul Release, triple Forbidden Chalice. If you have more Consecrated Lights, you could play them. I only have 1 in real life, so I can only play 1. But when you want double Consecrated Light, which again also must remember is also 1-for-1 target. But yeah, so Prohibition, again, I really like this card, but it does require like extensive knowledge of the format to be able to play it properly. Soul Release, just get rid of their Treeborn Frogs, get rid of their Vayus, their Sorokos, their Plague Spreaders, their Necro Gardeners. Get rid of those nasty cards. I think this should always basically be in the side, it should always be at 1. Maybe 2, if you really like the card. And Roll Decree. Playing against a nasty trap deck, you take out our traps, side these in, flip this. Game 3, going first. Doesn't matter if we have an OTK or not. You've won. You win. But again, yeah, since we have a low count of traps, playing Royal Decree is, it's basically, it's not even big brain. It's, it's whatever brain you want. And I just noticed this, I reverted back to the old ban list because the thing crashed. So that's nice. That's nice. Again, I'm not going to edit this. I don't edit stuff. Editing, I can't do that. Mostly because my editing software is trash. But anyway, Synchros, and we play Chimera Tech because we play Cyber Dragon and we got the room for machine decks. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Catasta is the other level 5. Again, full combo, you should go through Magical Android. But Catasta is just, again, maybe you won't full combo and your opponent's playing a deck that mostly doesn't run Dark Monsters. You make Catasta. And you can hold down the fort for a little bit. Armory Arm, non-negotiable, you need to play 1. This is part of the full combo. Hyper Psychic Blaster. Hyper Psychic Blaster. Swing, you win. Easy does it. Black Rose Dragon, the other level 7 we play. It's Black Rose Dragon, you need a board wipe. In a really crazy combo with a specific 6-card setup, you need Black Rose Dragon to be able to get rid of Gigavize. But again, that's a very specific combo. But again, having Black Rose in the pocket is always good to have. Brio, it's one of the best level 6 synchros, besides Goyo Guardian. Again, it can even help set up your graveyard for Mind Master. say you drew your Krebins and your Jumper and both your Dr. Craniums, you need them in the graveyard. Brio, Brio, Brio. Mind Master. Full combo. And Telekinetic Powerball. Let's go. Colossal Fighter, Colossal Armory Arm Shenanigans also helps get rid of the Gigavice board by crashing into a attack position Titanial. I know a lot of players now are being smart, putting the Titanials in defense position. So then you play a different level 8, which I'll go over very, very soon. Uruquizas, I just like having this for, you know, those dandy token decks or anything that just like sets a lot of like small monsters. Frogs, you know, this does piercing, it gets bigger. Eventually you could equip the armory arm to this, and it's not an OTK because you already done damage, but hey, you do that too. Go Guardian, it's probably the best level 6 synchro in Edison format. Gotta play it. Stealing your opponent's monster. Again, this is one of the cards that helps you crack a Gigavice board. Just a normal combo. You need to play this. It's non-negotiable. Here's a non-negotiable. Hyper Psychic Blaster. 100% non-negotiable. This gets you. This is your playmaker. Not a playmaker. This is the play ender. You're in on this, and with an equipped armory arm, swinging twice for 8,000. Gets you anything, not called Battle Fader. You win. You probably don't need more than one. Plus the card is really stupidly expensive because it hasn't many printings, so just need the one. Android. Again, you can play 2 Catastrophe if you want to be boring, but be on theme, play the Magical Android. And hey, if you need it, say you can't do the full combo and you're low on life points, you have this and maybe some other Psychics on the board, you're going to gain lots of life points back. Not just the 600. Gain back 18, 24, 3,000 if you have the real big setup. You can't OTK for some reason. So it has other applications just beyond being level 5 that you are synchro with at the second part of the combo. Mr. Worm. You don't need this. But again, I think it's just nice to have. It's nice to know we've got a triple bounce somewhere in the deck, just in case things go south, but you don't need it. Life Transfer, you need it. You definitely need Life Transfer. You don't need more than one, but you need this card. That gain 1,200 back comes up a lot more than you think. This is non-negotiable. You need one of it. Hey, here's a level of late you play if they put their Titanial in defense position or anything like that, or there's a bunch of defense position monsters on the field. You play Archfiend. You make this. Destroy all the defense position monsters, and you laugh at them. But yeah, this is what you do if you can't do the full combo. They've got a bunch of defense position monsters on the field. No, not anymore, you don't. Just make sure if they do have a Stardust, that's what you run over, because otherwise Stardust will, you know, negate it, because that's what Stardust does. That's what it's there for. Speaking of Stardust, we have one. You probably... I like having Stardust in most of my decks because it's, you know, he's one of the very few negates in Edison format. It's nice and safe in most situations. It's probably the one deck where we could cut it, but there's not really anything you want to replace it with. Maybe you want a second Life Transfer, or maybe if you're a rich bastard, a second Blaster. You don't need to cut it, but again, you don't need Stardust Dragon. And last of all, Thought Ruler Archfiend. You rarely go into this. It's not part of the full combo. There are better options amongst the deck, and we lost connection again, but I am basically finished. We are a professional setup, okay? We're very professional here. That's what we're all about. But again, if you're low on life points, meaning that targeting protection because they play AD Prison or other cards like that, you can make your Thought Ruler Archfiend. Just don't forget, you can't summon it under Consecrated Light, or if you have it out and then you have summoned Consecrated Light for some reason, you can't attack. But hey, you gain those sweet, sweet life points back. That's what you need. That is what you need. Yeah, I think that's basically it. Are there any bad matchups? Like I said, decks which play Battle Fader can stop you from OTKing. But decks that summon twice, if they have 2 monsters on the field, you don't care about that because you hit over both of those and you win. But otherwise, bad matchups. Psychic OTK is bad into Psychic OTK. The faster decks are going to be much harder. Because even if they don't kill you, if they get enough damage in, you don't have Research Lab, you can't do the full combo. And you're going to really struggle. But, again, that's why we try to make this as consistent as possible. But again, there are different builds. I've seen some builds play a lot more trap cards. You know, they have this, 3 of this, and, I mean, 2 of this and 1 terraforming. No, for some reason. If you want to do that, you can. You can definitely play more defensive. Because, again, this is not Psychic FTK or Psychic 3rd turn OTK, even though it should be. That's what we're aiming for. Which is Psychic OTK. So as long as you do the OTK in 1 turn, you're fine. Right? So you can play more trap cards if you want. This is not 100% the definitive build, even though I may have said that at the start of the video. But this is just what I've been having a lot of success with. So again, do what you want, guys. I am just here to guide you. Wow, this has been a long video, which has been cut off twice by Dueling Book just deciding not to want to do anything about it. Not wanting me to be able to talk about this. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I hope this was very informative, and I could have just taken a photo of this essentially and talked about it. That would have been a lot better. But anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Maybe I'll have some more. I should have more content for you. Of course I'll have more content for you. That's what I do. All right. Anyway, peace.